Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and today is May 14, 2025, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, watching the tech stock lift the markets higher, but first, no major economic events scheduled for today. So looking at the markets, start with the Forex symbols. The British pound actually plays catch-up and pushes to higher ground while we're watching Japanese yen losing some traction and retracing. Now looking at the indices, the Dow Jones actually was down and pausing as the NASDAQ is lifted by those tech stocks and pushing higher. Now looking at commodities, gold and oil unchanged. And which stocks lifted the markets yesterday? The big tech, the really big tech, the Meta, the Microsoft, the NVIDIA, the Teslas, all pushing higher yesterday. That's really on the back of diplomacy in the Middle East with President Trump visiting some of the Saudi Arabia, closing off those deals for these mega companies. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin pausing and unchanged. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go with the GBP USD. Now we're looking at a 4-hour chart. Yes, it pushed higher yesterday. Finally playing catch up, okay, because it did move, but initially didn't move, and then it moves. Okay, so GBP playing catch up. Now what I do want to highlight is that yesterday was the Japanese yen that went up first, okay, whereas the GBP didn't. Now looking today, the Japanese yen is faltering and retracing here, while the GBP is holding itself on and not selling off from those gains. So two things from this. Number one, Japanese yen is weaker than the British pound. Number two, the British pound is stronger. Yes, by default. But the question is that on the next run, okay, which way we're going to go here? Okay, is this going to play catch up to the JPY, to the Japanese yen? Perhaps. So this is what I'll be looking at today to see if it does start retracing and possibly catching that fade move on the downside. Now looking at gold, sitting on supportish level, okay, not selling off below 32.31, but just realize that we are very close to that 200-day average on a 4-hour chart. Now looking at a daily, we're crossing over the 30-day moving average, okay, which is a bearish indication. So we may see a sell-off here, but we're still in supportish level, okay? So I don't want to celebrate that until we break 3,200. And if we do break 3,200, then the next stop is 3,150, okay? So just keep that in mind as a possible move for today. Now looking at crude oil, we paused here at 63.41, okay? Not changing here, but we are at resistance-ish level. So I do believe we'll continue either churning here unchanged or we'll retrace here at these levels. So keep that on the radar as well. Now looking at the Dow Jones, yesterday we sold off on the Dow Jones, okay? Even though the U.S. markets are strong, namely because of the tech stocks, that's going to reflect the NASDAQ more than it does the Dow Jones, but it's relatively really strong, okay? We've had a V move here, okay, altogether from that major sell-off when the tariffs were announced, and then, sure enough, we're back to our levels. This was a perfect trade. That comes to tell you that at 37,000, you could have made a lot of money. 5,000 points on the Dow Jones. Amazing recovery for the Dow Jones. And if we look at the NASDAQ, even more, okay, on the upside. That was huge. 21,200-ish level right now. And it's not retracing, okay? Now, this is really on the back of the fact that in the Middle East right now, President Trump is meeting with world leaders, and he's closing on major deals with the Middle East, and he towed along with him some of the biggest tech titans. Elon Musk is down there, ChatGPT, Sam Altman is down there, a few others. That's just really interesting, okay, that, world diplomacy isn't really world economy, okay? It's one-on-one the same. We think they're completely different, but they're not, okay? So sure enough, that is reflecting in the U.S. markets. Now looking at the stocks, okay, which ones went higher, okay? Microsoft, super strong, okay? If you remember yesterday, I told you to make 3 lists, one very strong, one neutral, and one weak. And sure enough, the strong stocks did continue to move higher. Microsoft, Tesla moved higher to 333, a huge gap up, and this is a big comeback for Tesla. If we look also at the other one was, I'm sorry, I'm blanking out for a second, NVIDIA pushing above its 200-day moving average. That was really a nice move to the upside as well. And the other one as well was Meta, okay, moving up to 656. Okay, again, above that 200-day moving average on a 4-hour chart, on a daily for sure. Okay, as that is looking to make its comeback to that $700 range. Unbelievable on Meta, really unbelievable. This was a $95 stock just about 2 years ago. It's really just mind-boggling. And this is really on the back of AI, right? All that AI stuff that's coming out, right behind it is Facebook. Now, looking at Bitcoin, we are retracing here, or we have paused here at resistance-ish level. The question is will we see it pushing higher? I don't want to completely rule that out because essentially we did have the volume to back it up. Question is whether or not we're going to push on higher. That's something to keep in mind and keep this on the radar because it's going to turn in either direction. Either it's going to continue to correct itself on the downside. Okay, it doesn't mean it has to sell off back to 80,000, but it does mean that it may correct itself at this area and be reluctant to making new all-time record highs on Bitcoin. But keep it on the radar because if it does, then sky's the limit, really. We could hit 120 for all intents and purposes. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.